Om Namah Shivaya. Hi friends, how are you? In this video we are going to learn about the parotid gland. Okay, parotid gland. What the parotid means? The para means around, otic is ear. Para means around, otic means ear. Around the ear. Okay, parotid means around the ear. The parotid gland is the largest of the three pairs of salivary glands. And the three pairs of salivary glands are parotid, submandibular and sublingual. It is composed almost entirely of serous alveoli. It is lobulated, yellowish brown and weighs about 25 grams. The parotid gland is the largest of the three pairs of salivary glands, and the three pairs of salivary glands are parotid, submandibular, sublingual. It is composed almost entirely of serous alveoli. It is lobulated, yellowish brown and weighs about the 25 grams. Location of the parotid gland. The location of the parotid gland. The parotid gland lies in the pyramidal fossa posterior to the ramus of the mandible called retromandibular fossa. We call that parotid blade. We call the retromandibular fossa as parotid bed. Location. The parotid gland lies in the pyramidal fossa posterior to the ramus of the mandible. We call that retromandibular fossa, and this retromandibular fossa also called parotid bed. Next, boundaries of the parotid bed. Boundaries of the parotid bed. It is bounded by here given anteriorly, posteriorly, superiorly and medially. Okay, these are the boundaries that cover of parotid bed: anteriorly, posteriorly, superiorly and medially. See here first anteriorly. Anteriorly by the posterior border of the ramus of the mandible. Anteriorly by posterior border of the ramus of the mandible. Posteriorly by the mastoid process. Superiorly by the external acoustic meatus and posterior part of temporomandibular joint, and medially by styloid process. See once again the borders of the parotid bed. It is bounded anteriorly by posterior border of the ramus, posteriorly by mastoid process, superiorly by the external acoustic meatus and posterior part of the temporomandibular joint, and medially by styloid process. The parotid bed is lined by muscles, probably to make it soft as under. The parotid bed is lined by muscles, probably to make it soft as under. See. The ramus of the mandible is covered by two muscles, masseter laterally and the medial pterygoid medially. Mastoid process is covered by two muscles, sternocleidomastoid laterally and posterior belly of the digastric muscle medially. Next, styloid process is enveloped by three slender muscles, styloglossus, stylopharyngeus and stylohyoid. The parotid gland is too soft to be palpable in healthy individual, but one can identify the bony boundaries of the parotid bed. The parotid gland is too soft to be palpable in the healthy individual, but one can identify the bony boundaries of the parotid bed. Okay. The parotid bed is lined by muscles, probably to make it soft as under. See once again, the ramus of the mandible is covered by two muscles. We are talking about the ramus. Okay. See here, the ramus of the mandible, the posterior border of ramus of the mandible forms the anterior border for parotid gland. See here what are the two muscles? Ramus of the mandible is covered by two muscles, and the two muscles are masseter and medial pterygoid. Masseter lies laterally and medial pterygoid lies medially. Next, mastoid process. See here. Mastoid process forms the posterior boundary of the parotid bed. Mastoid process forms posterior boundary of the parotid bed. The mastoid process is covered by two muscles, sternocleidomastoid and posterior belly of digastric muscle. And here sternocleidomastoid forms it is lateral, and posterior belly of digastric muscle is medial. Next, styloid process. Styloid process is enveloped by three slender muscles. Styloid process is enveloped by three slender muscles: styloglossus, stylopharyngeus and stylohyoid. Okay guys, coming to the figure. See this figure. This yellowish thing, this is the parotid gland. Okay, this is the parotid gland, which is the largest gland of all the salivary glands, of all the three paired salivary glands. And this is the parotid duct. It is formed mainly by serous. Okay, it is mainly formed by the serous alveoli. It is lobulated, yellowish brown color, and it weighs nearly 25 grams. Okay, it is weighs nearly 25 grams, and it is located in the retromandibular fossa. It is located in the retromandibular fossa, and this is also called parotid bed. Okay, it is also called parotid bed. See this figure. This figure shows the boundaries of the parotid gland. Okay, boundaries of the parotid gland. See here. This is the outline of parotid gland. See, outline is shown here. Okay, and this is the parotid duct. Are you able to observe? This is the parotid duct. Next, see here. This is the mandible. Okay, this is the mandible. And see here. This is the posterior border of the ramus of mandible. This is the posterior border. This is the ramus of the mandible, and this is the posterior border of the ramus of the mandible. Okay guys, see the anterior border of parotid duct. Anterior border of parotid duct. Anterior border of parotid duct is, this is the anterior, and the anterior border of parotid duct is posterior border of ramus of mandible. See here, this is the anterior border for parotid duct, and this is posterior border of ramus of mandible, and posterior border of parotid duct is mastoid process. Okay, this is the front view, so mastoid process is not shown here. Next, superior border of parotid gland is superior border, external acoustic meatus. See, this is the parotid gland outline, and this is the external acoustic meatus. Okay, external acoustic meatus located superior to parotid gland. Next, medial border of parotid gland. Medial border of parotid gland is styloid process. See, are you able to see? This is the styloid process. This is medial boundary for parotid gland. Okay, this is the medial boundary for parotid gland. This is above the boundaries of parotid gland. Next, extension of the parotid gland. Okay, extension or extent. Okay, see here, the parotid gland being soft is not identified only to the parotid bed but extends beyond it. The extension of the parotid gland is as follows. It extends from external acoustic meatus above to the upper part of the carotid triangle below. It extends from external artery meatus above to the lower part of the carotid triangle below. Medially, it extends to the styloid process and wraps around the neck of the mandible. Medially, it extends to the styloid process and wraps around the neck of the mandible. Posteriorly, it wraps the sternocleidomastoid muscle anterior to extend over the masseter for a variable distance. A part of this forward extension is often detached from the rest of the gland and is known as accessory parotid gland. The accessory parotid gland lies between the zygomatic arch above and the parotid duct below. Several ducts from accessory duct open into the parotid duct. See once again. Extension of the parotid gland. The parotid gland being soft is not confined only to the parotid bed but extends beyond it. The extension of the parotid gland is as follows. It extends from external artery meatus above to the upper part of the carotid triangle below. That means in vertically it extends from external artery meatus to upper part of the carotid triangle. Next, medially it extends to the styloid process and wraps around the neck of the mandible. That means in horizontally it extends from styloid process and wraps around the neck of the mandible. Next, anterior to posterior. Posteriorly, it wraps the sternocleidomastoid muscle and anteriorly it extends over the masseter for a variable distance. Okay. A part of this forward extension is often detached from the rest of the gland and is known as accessory parotid gland. The accessory parotid gland lies between the zygomatic arch above and the parotid gland below. The several ducts from accessory gland open into the parotid duct. See here, this is the accessory parotid gland. See, this is the accessory parotid gland and this accessory parotid gland lies between the zygomatic arch above. That means zygomatic arch may be present above here. Okay, this is the accessory parotid gland and the zygomatic arch present above this level. Okay, and parotid duct lies below. See, is shown here and the parotid duct lies below to accessory parotid gland. See here, the accessory parotid duct lies between zygomatic arch above and parotid duct below. Next, parotid capsule or parotid sheath. Parotid capsule or parotid sheath. The parotid gland is enclosed in a fibrous capsule called parotid capsule. It is formed by the tough investing layer of deep cervical fascia. This fascia splits in the region between the angle of the mandible and mastoid process to enclose the gland. The superficial lamina is thick, strong, unyielding and adherent to the gland, while the deep lamina is thin. The superficial lamina blends with the epimysium of mesenteric to form a thick parotidomesenteric fascia which is attached above to the zygomatic arch. The thin deep lamina is attached to the tympanic plate and stylar process of the temporal bone. It thickens to form the stylomandibular ligament, which separates the parotid gland from the mandibular gland. See this figure. This figure shows the capsule of the parotid gland. Okay, capsule of the parotid gland, also fibrous sheath. Okay, guys, and the parotid capsule is formed by the investing layer of deep cervical fascia. Investing layer of deep cervical fascia forms the parotid capsule, and this investing layer of deep cervical fascia is splits into two fascia between the angle of the mandible and mastoid process to enclose the parotid gland. This investing layer of deep cervical fascia splits into superficial and deep. Okay, this is the superficial lamina, and this is the deep lamina. Okay, and the superficial lamina of the parotid fascia is thick. This is thick. Okay, and deep lamina of the parotid fascia is thin. Okay, next, this superficial lamina is attached to the zygomatic arch. See here, it is going to attach here at zygomatic arch. Next, this is the deep lamina of parotid fascia, and it is attached to the stylar process and tympanic plate. This deep lamina is attached to the stylar process and tympanic plate, and at some point this deep lamina of the parotid fascia thickens to form the stylomandibular ligament. At some point, deep lamina of parotid fascia, see here, thickens to form the stylomandibular ligament, and this deep lamina separates the submandibular gland from parotid gland, and this stylomandibular ligament separates parotid gland and submandibular gland. Okay, this is about the fibrous capsule or parotid capsule of parotid gland. Okay guys, in next video we are going to learn about the external features and relations of the parotid gland. Okay, if you like this video, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.